today as part of AIB's Future Project. We're having a chat with Robert Hogan from the band She's a Beauty, the four-piece rock band, all from County Kildare, formed back in 2009 and released their first EP in 2011. They've performed at no less than 160 gigs, and this year they also took to the stage at Electric Picnic. Robert joins us on the line now to talk about living the rock band lifestyle and telling us what's in store for the band in the future. So Robert, thanks very much for chatting to us today. Can you tell us about some of the hard work that's gone into She's a Beauty over the last 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, over since 2009 anyway, like we've just done mountains and mountains of gigs. We started off doing smaller gigs, smaller little venues across the country. Then 2 years ago we managed to get ourselves a crew cab van, so we've just been like pretty much every weekend in a different county doing a different little venue. Just we're completely independent, so you know we depend on doing smaller gigs around the country to get fans, you know, and we're very like loyal to our fans in that kind of regard. Like we give free music to them and that kind of thing for liking our Facebook and, you know, following us on Twitter. So I mean it's been busy, but we're never burnt out. We're always on the road, you know, kind of way.
Yeah, it sounds like it's an extremely busy lifestyle. And you mentioned there as well, like the Facebook and being on Facebook and Twitter. I'm presuming nowadays being in a band, that's one of the main things you have to have sorted, is kind of your online presence.
Big time. I mean, like, I don't know where we'd be without the likes of Facebook and Twitter. Like, you know, years ago when you didn't have that kind of stuff, it meant that you gigged every single evening. You know, you were every weekend in the studio. You were constantly releasing music. You had to depend on a label and that kind of thing to get your music out there. But this day and age, like, you know, there's a lot more interaction with fans, and you know, you depend on your Twitter and your Facebook to, you know, contact them, and you know, it's widened the music kind of sales a little bit, but at the same time you have to have, you know, your free downloads there, and you know, and that kind of thing. You have to work, you know, really hard in the studio to get your tunes out there in time, you know. And of course festivals and like Electric Picnic and all that kind of thing, you do get quite a big following from that kind of thing. But the fans that rely on, you know, Facebook and Twitter now to follow their bands, you know, which is, it's changed. Like, it's a revolution of the music scene. But sure, we're kind of just working away with it. Like, when it's never become a problem for us, really.
Okay, and you've been on the go now for 4 years, and looking to the future then, what do you think is the plan over the next 4 or 5 years for She's a Beauty?
Let me see now. We're just going to keep gigging till October, and then after October we sit down. We've about 40 or 50 tracks in the studio done pre-production. So in October now we'll sit down and we'll select maybe 12 or 13 tracks for an EP, and then an extra 12 or 13 for an album, you know. But we're not planning to release anything until early February, that of 2015, like, you know. Like we over the next year we'll do, you know, same kind of thing, gigging every weekend, that kind of thing, you know.
Great, Robert. Well, listen, thanks very much for chatting to us today, and the best of luck to you and the rest of the band in the future.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this evening's feature as part of AIB's Future Project. Stay tuned to hear more from up-and-coming talents from all around the region over the next few weeks.
With AIB, the Future Project, Allied Irish Bank plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.